I'm excited about this one.
All right. Hey, welcome, everybody. I am here with Tammy Davis from RPH Alley on the Burnout Show, and we got an awesome topic today with really, a continuation of self-awareness and seeing the bigger picture. So let's dive right in, Tammy.
Absolutely. So, hi, everyone. It's good to see you, Sean. I'm excited about this one. I went for a hike and I was thinking about how can I pull this together. And the way I want to say this is I want to use a couple of examples and then I'll bring it into pharmacy, um, or for anyone for that matter. But when people come to me and they may have this particular, like, so when I practice with oils and I'm consult with people on oils and how to use oils, and somebody might complain about weight, and somebody might complain about sleep, and somebody else might complain about maybe their blood sugar. And the whole point of that is if I got into the minutia of it, I would get caught up in the minor all the details of what specifically is going on. But if I pull back, what I ultimately hear is hormonal. Because when I teach integrative aromatherapy, that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching we want to pull back. And so that was one example that came to mind. And then I started thinking about when we have kids and you got a couple of kids together and maybe the common problem is they always seem to want the same toy at the same time, right? And so is it, and some people will say, well, they're vying for attention, but what if they're actually asking for, what if the bigger picture is they're actually asking for structure? Because we can kind of get into the little details of Sally said this and Joey said that, or and all this, but we can, if the bigger pictures, these children are looking for structure. And maybe as a parent, what we're there to do is to teach them how to take turns. So again, I'm using some really simple examples, but when I started thinking about this in an office setting or a business setting, and when we're looking at something that all of the different things and coming at us, and we have a complaint within our own head, like, so all the little crying, all the screaming kids in the background are all the complaints that we have on our head. But if we get caught up in a singular complaint, then we miss the bigger picture. And what is the bigger picture that's coming through? And I'm going to get the example that came to mind, and I will demonstrate how this can work. Is because, and it's been great having these conversations with you, because if the bigger picture is I just can't, I mean, if the complaint is I don't have enough time, and and I don't know how, and I don't know how I'm going to get to this, and we can look at all of that, right? Maybe the bigger picture is I just want to be more productive. When we look at how do we innovate, this is something we talked about last week. How do we initiate? And the idea here is, instead of focusing on the complaint, the bigger picture is I want to be more productive. I want to feel more productive. I want to experience myself as more productive. And then we have all of these stories that go on inside of our head. And then, like I was mentioning last week, if we start to identify the story, we can begin to um, just kind of begin to break this up into smaller sections, to the degree that we get the theme. That's the whole point of this. So if the theme in this case is higher productivity or better productivity, and we are in a corporate setting, we're working within a pharmacy that's a corporate setting, and so there's the higher ups, and then we have the team of people that are around us, and and again, we've identified this. We've all heard the story or the request that if you have a problem, come to the table with a solution. So when we look at, is somebody above us going to listen to us, the idea is they don't really want to hear the complaint. But if you initiate a solution, if you initiate the solution from the foundation of I want to be more productive, then they would be resourceful in the sense that they could begin to bring other people into the situation that would assist you, that you can delegate with, help you create the time, if you will, to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Now, the thing is, we have to keep in mind, oftentimes when we go to somebody with the idea of, okay, this is my solution, I want to put a pause on that for just a moment and just say this, that the idea of transforming a situation, any situation, does not happen when we come at this from lack or scarcity. Like, I don't have the time, or I don't have the resources, or, when we come from that space, transformation doesn't happen from there. Transformation happens when we come at something with possibility. When we take responsibility, knowing there's possibility and there's sufficiency, there's a sufficient amount of resources available to us. In this case, with responsibility, what I want to say is, it comes back to Werner Erhard. It's a great quote, and I'm going to just paraphrase it. But bottom line to his identification of responsibility is when we own our role in a situation, that we don't blame or judge, nor do we seek credit. So when we are proposing a solution or initiating a solution, not to be attached to it going the way we think it should go, but at least having the vision to set to start things in motion. We'll put it that way. And so that's leadership right there. That is the initiation of leadership. Leadership is not about taking, oh, well, they did what I wanted to do. That's seeking credit. That's not even that's not taking responsibility. But when we don't seek to go, well, see, I did this, we just go, my ultimate goal is to be productive. I want to be able to give in the capacity that I can give. I want to be who I'm here to be. And this is an idea, and if we can build on this and bring a team of people together to help us, now we have initiated the leadership, and the rest of the resources will come together. And the process of that's what, so by paying attention to our underlying complaints, if you will, about all of the different things that are going on that we don't like, and and there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in that. But if we can just be honest about what we really want to experience, and then we initiate the solution, now we are opening up the door for possibility to come in, because we realize that the resources are available to us. And like I shared on LinkedIn, and I shared with the announcement of this particular episode, is that self-awareness is key to effective leadership. That's key to, and so again, it's being aware of what we need and eliminating the story about why we can't ask for what we need. However our interpretation is, like, I should be better, or if I ask for help, this means that. We have to be willing to put that down and take the initiative to say, this is what I need to be the best version of myself for this team. How can we do this? And that is how we get to the bigger picture, like I said, because that is the self-awareness that the higher ups are looking for, because that's the leadership that they're asking for.
Fascinating. Can you go back and touch on that one more time? Because I think it's very important, and people might have missed it, as far as those, back when you took that pause, when you're talking about credibility, taking responsibility, and the blame, all that stuff. Can you kind of just quick recap that again? Because I think that was very insightful, Tammy.
Absolutely. So you're talking about responsibility?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I started off by saying is, transformation happens within the context of responsibility, possibility, and sufficiency. So the responsibility is not blaming or judging ourselves about what we think we cannot do, or what it means, what it's going to mean to ask for assistance, but just being responsible for our role in whatever isn't working, and having the confidence and the vision to be able to see the possibility of what happens when we are willing to take the lead and say, this is what I need, through the space of sufficiency, because sufficiency means we know the resources are available to us when we simply ask for what we need.
And then the extrapolate on that, when you talked about the I lost the word. It was you said it. It was very negative in the way you said it, and it's like, oh wow, that's, people kind of need to let that sink in a little bit. It was I'm sorry, it's been a long day of meetings, Tammy.
That's okay. That's okay.
It wasn't blame. It was like the deflecting, taking ownership, taking owning that, right? It was what did you say there?
The idea of that's about responsibility, and we don't want to. We don't know responsibility is owning our role in a situation. So if there's a breakdown, what is it about us that was a part of this? Not that we are blaming or judging ourselves, but at the same time, not seeking the credit for something either. Because when we come at it, this is all ego based, and leadership isn't about ego. Leadership is about having that vision and that ability to take people to the next level. And it takes voices on all levels to be able to instigate that, and at the same time being but not blaming or judging ourselves, because we have these unfortunately, many of us have stories that come from, way back when, and or interpretations of ourselves that maybe we don't put on loudspeaker, and at the same time, they will prohibit us from taking action or initiating something. So the idea is, if we just can set aside the blame and judgment and just really be honest about what it is that we brought to the table that would have led to this, and how we can resolve to evolve, I guess is another way of saying it. How can we resolve ourselves to evolve in the space of, I see a better solution here. I see the solution, and this is, but not being attached to the solution going the way we think it should go, just letting it evolve. Did I answer your
Yeah,
question?
no, that's perfect. I love how you said that, because a lot of times we get focused on our solution, but it may not be the best solution. And once you start gathering that input from all parties, that's where you see, like, okay, that is the pathway forward. And you touched on it. Sometimes egos get in the way, right? And it's like, you don't want to get tripped up in your own ego. Just let things happen. I love it, Tammy. That's amazing.
Exactly. The nature of nature is collaboration. That's the nature. It's all about cooperation. That's the nature of nature. It's not competition. We all know we may perceive it as such. So allowing other people's input, like you said, is really where we can move it forward, move that needle.
I love it, Tammy. Awesome stuff today. Thank you so much for your time. This has been great. And we'll come back next week, same time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Tammy. Bye-bye.